Reconstruction is underway in the islands affected by the typhoon. Despite the unprecedented magnitude of the disaster, the authorities swiftly implemented a response system. But there remains a shortage of medical care, especially emergency and hospital treatment. While consultations at Tacloban's Bethany Hospital mainly involve infected wounds and chronic illness, many women go to the hospital for pregnancy-related complications.
They are very worried about where they will deliver. Food is probably difficult, and most of them have been displaced from their homes, lost their possessions. Surprisingly, all of them are already thinking about what they have to have ready and prepared for the baby, so they're very resilient, I think.
The death of loved ones, the sight of corpses in the streets, the loss of their homes. Many survivors are in need of help to cope with the trauma. MSF is planning to provide psychological counselling over several months, for children in particular. As the provision of primary healthcare has improved in recent weeks, MSF has decided to suspend those of its activities that are no longer required.
Public services have been restored incredibly fast. We hope they'll be up and running in a few months.
MSF's objective now is to help with the reconstruction effort, and more particularly, rehabilitating health facilities. An example is Birawen Hospital, which was badly damaged during the typhoon. In the meantime, the medical teams continue to ensure that the population's medical needs are met. Dagahali is one of Dadaab's camps. Set up 22 years ago, it hosts Somalis who have fled from the civil war that continues to devastate their country. The November Agreement lays out the practical and legal terms for their voluntary return, a return that many don't even want to hear about.
Given the current situation in Somalia, I don't want to return. Despite the difficulties here in Dagahali refugee camp, I'd rather stay here than go back to Somalia.
The MSF team providing healthcare to refugees in Dagahali bear witness to the humanitarian emergency here. While discussions on the return of refugees to Somalia may be a positive step, they must not be at the expense of providing adequate aid to those still living in Kenya.
It's a very congested, the hygiene is a concern, the nutrition of the population in the camp is a major concern, the insecurity is another concern.
MSF recently conducted a survey among its patients in Dagahali. The results showed that in spite of the poor living conditions and endemic violence, 75% of these refugees do not want to return to Somalia. These people still depend on humanitarian aid for their survival.